So, this is my first video for 2013-14 school year, and I'm very excited. We're starting with exponents, which should just be a refresher, but we're going to use these even more in 7th grade and beyond. So, exponents, some of the things that you might remember is this is called the base, the big number, base, big, and the exponent is the small number. And the exponent tells you how many times you're going to have the base in multiplication. So, what are the exponents and what do they mean? So this, you would say 2 to the 4th power, and it says click on Tom and Harry to see what they think. So the question is, what is 2 to the 4th power? And Tom says, dude, it's easy, the answer is 8. Now, Harry says, no way, man, the answer has to be 16. Now, how could that be? So, if you wrote this out to what it means, it would be 2 4 times. And 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So, of course, Harry was right. You can't just multiply. This doesn't mean multiply these two numbers together. It means this tells you how many times. And so there's lots of vocabulary that goes along with exponents. And now would be the time for you to pause and really read these definitions and make sure that you understand what they mean and what they refer to. So we talked about exponent, and it shows you how many times the number is used in multiplication. It's a little number. The base is the big number. It tells you what number is being multiplied. Square is whenever you are multiplying a number times a number, like 4 to the 2nd power is also said 4 squared, and I'll explain that in a minute. So 4 squared is 16. Cubed is whenever you multiply that number times 3 times. And 4 cubed is 64. And then power is the same, it's the same word, same meaning as exponent. It tells you the number of times that the number shows up in a multiplication problem. It is the small number written to the right and above the base number. So that's why we say power 2. But it means the same thing as the exponent. It's referring to the exponent. And then exponential form is when you have a set of numbers and you rewrite them with bases and exponents. So you may have 4 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 5 times 5, and you would rewrite that using exponents for the numbers that repeat. So why do we say the number to the 2nd power is squared and a number to the 3rd power is cubed? And this is why. If you think of what is 3 to the 2nd power, 3 times 3. And you could show that using a grid, 3 times 3. Well, of course, that's a square. So that's where the term squared comes from. It's the same number 2 times, and so you would always get a square. And then with 3 to the 3rd, you say this also 3 cubed, and it's because 3 times 3 times 3 high, 3 dimensions, 3 times 3 times 3, would be 3 cubed. And if you added all these up, it would be 27. 3 times 3, 9 times 3, 27. So, real easy, but just some practice. Converting expanded form to exponential form. So use a pencil to rewrite each expression in exponential form. All that means is write it using exponents. So I would say I've got 2, how many times? 1, 2, 3. I've got 3, 1 time. It's always understood that that just equals 1, so you don't have to put 1. And then I've got 4, 4 times. So I've got 2, 3 times, times 3, times 4, 4 times. So it's just writing with exponents. It's just a shorthand. It's just a short way. It's a way to shorten numbers. And so now pause and make sure you can write these examples with exponents and what that would look like. And remember, if you just see a number once, then you just leave it by itself. this one was 3 squared, or 3 to the second power, times 5 squared times 7 to the sixth power. And this one, notice I put 6 first, and that's the standard form of dealing with numbers. You put the lowest number, the number with the lowest value first, and then put the exponents. So 6 is first, 6 to the fourth power, 3 cubed, and then 9 cubed. And then this was 1 to the sixth power, which is really just 1, and 3 cubed times 4 squared times 5. And you didn't have to find the values of these because they'd be pretty crazy numbers. These numbers would get pretty high pretty fast, and wouldn't want to do that much multiplication whenever you could do it on a calculator. So now if you see numbers with exponents, and this is the way you're going to see them in problems that you're going to be doing, you're going to see the problems with the exponents, you have to think, what does this really mean written out in multiplication? So if I had this, 4 to the second power, it would be 4 times 4, and then 6 4 times. And so that's written out. So 4 squared times 6 to the fourth power, and it's written out like that. And so these would be multiplied together and would get you a really big number. So go ahead and write these out and what they would look like, because I just want you to be thinking, this is what it really means. This is the way what numbers I would use to multiply it out, and do these examples. Okay, so we've got the answers written out, pretty basic. Again, the reason that you would want to write these out is so that you could make sure that you're multiplying the full answer out, and that you're not saying 3 times 2, which is 6, whenever it's really 3 times 3, which is 9. So get very different answers if you multiply these in different ways. So there are some special cases. A number raised to the first power is always equal to that number. So you've got 9 one time, so that equals 9. You've got 5 one time, so that equals 5. And then a number raised to the 0 power is always, well, let's figure it out together. So you've got 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 16. 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. 2 times 2, which is 4. 2 times 1, 2 times 1, or 2 just by itself is 2, one time. And then 2 to the 0 power, let's look at what's happening here. It goes from 16 to 8, that's half, to 4, that's half, to 2, that's half. What's half of 2? It's 1. And so any number raised to the 0 power is always 1. And I know that looks weird and that seems weird, but just imagine that this means 1. 1 only. 1 is the absolute number, not 0. So here is your homework check. Go ahead and record your answers for this, and you will use them in class, at the beginning of class, to make sure that you understand this concept, how to apply it, and all of the information.